Hey guys. Okay, so I did my book review on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And before we begin, I want to do a quick exercise that I had planned to do in class. And some of you that have attended different leadership conferences and trainings may have already done this, so I'll be quick. So take a minute and closely examine this picture. For some of us, we may see a young lady. Okay, you can see her nose and her eyelash, her defined cheekbone, her ear, and a necklace. She seems pretty fashionable with her feather in her hair and her boa. Some of you may totally disagree and say that's not what I see at all. I see an older woman who looks really sad. Okay, her hooked nose, her chin, this is her mouth, her eyes. Okay. So think about that a minute. Does it make one of us wrong because we view it differently than someone else? Or is it all about understanding how others view things? And that's exactly what Covey does throughout the book. As he goes through each of the 7 habits, there are different exercises that make you look at things differently. And throughout each habit, there were a lot of things that I had to journal and reflect upon and think about, well, is that the way that I perceive it? And I had to understand that it's not wrong, it's just a different perception on things. And that's what this whole book is about, is it's okay to have your own principles, your beliefs and values, but we've got to take the time to understand the perception of others. And so all throughout the book, Covey focuses on principle-centered leadership while trying to understand the way that others may view things. There's not a whole lot of scholarly reference throughout the book. A lot of it is just Covey's life experiences as a professor and different stages throughout his life, and stories of friends and family that have different experiences in each habit. And he says multiple times throughout the book, don't put this down, don't put it on your shelf, but use it as a reference and as a guide as you transition through each of the 7 habits. And so I want to share one in habit 2. He gives just one of the scenarios or one of the things that he does that really just kind of stopped me in my tracks, and I think that that's what he tries to do, is just kind of make readers stop and reflect. So I want to share this with you right quick. So in your mind's eye, see yourself going to the funeral of a loved one. Picture yourself driving to the funeral parlor or chapel, parking the car and getting out. As you walk inside the building, you notice the flowers, the soft organ music. You see the faces of friends and family you pass along the way. You feel the shared sorrow of losing, the joy of having known, that radiates from the hearts of the people there. As you walk down to the front of the room and look inside the casket, you suddenly come face to face with yourself. This is your funeral 3 years from today. All these people have come to honor you, to express feelings of love and appreciation for your life. As you take a seat and wait for the services to begin, you look at the program in your hand. There are to be 4 speakers. The first is from your family, immediate and also extended, who have come from all over the world to attend. The second speaker is one of your friends, someone who can give a sense of what you were as a person. The third speaker is from your work or profession. And the fourth is from your church or some community organization where you've been involved in service. Okay, so then he says, just take a minute and think. What would people say if they were attending your funeral? What would you want them to say? And so I really took a minute and reflected on this and wrote my answers in my journal. And the really neat thing about this book is you can also take an effectiveness test. And what it does is it ranks you from your least effective habit to your most effective habit. And for me, habit 2, begin with the end in mind, was my highest. And that is me. I plan for the future, and before I make a decision, I think about who it's going to impact, what it's going to impact, and that's what I base my decisions on. Now, my least effective, and I'm sad to say this, but I know that this is something I need to work on, was habit 5. First, seek to understand, then to be understood. And I'm quick to give my opinions on things before actually listening to understand. But it was a great book. I highly recommend it. Have a great week, guys.